Hello, and welcome to this episode of Nick of Time, where we will be talking about the Knicks and their past games and some other notes from across the NBA. Now, let's start with some NBA notes because I want to get really in depth on the Knicks, but we're going to get into some NBA notes. First, role players for the Warriors, which I think were the biggest thing because you're looking at the Warriors as a team on paper that has a Steph Curry and a good defense, good to great defense. So when you look at a team like when it's a team like Steph Curry and a good to great defense, you obviously think championship because Steph Curry's that type of guy that can really push you up to a championship team, but also he can't do it alone. So role players were really the big thing for them getting their step up in the first few weeks of the NBA season, but they fell off, which is the biggest thing here. The Warriors cannot do a lot when their role players are falling off, like Hield and Dennis Schroeder, which again, they're definitely going to be in for some trades of, Jimmy Butler. They're definitely going to be in there, but they're gonna have to have players like Buddy Hield and Dennis Schroeder show up, especially with Jonathan Kuminga going out with an ankle injury. I don't know how they even finagle a trade to get Jimmy, with them saying that Jonathan Kuminga's injuries are very, very significant, which is crazy. But yeah. Um, that's my Warrior spiel right now. That's where they are as a team. In the first few weeks of the season, yes, I was loving them, but now I'm really stepping back and looking at the product they put on the court every other day, almost every other day, and they don't really look like a good enough team that could compete for a championship like every single team like with Steph Curry wants to do, or every single team with LeBron, or every single team with Steph, or every team with let's even talk about Jalen Brunson, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Like those players are on teams. Whenever they're on a team, you want to compete for a championship. When the Warriors don't look like a team that can compete for a championship. Um, the Suns, man, the Suns are in a hole right now. They are losing every game they put up. They play every meeting they play. Like they're losing every time. This team is really flawed. 15-18 on the season. Man, they don't have a sustainable team. Like I know it's always when healthy, but their team is not going to get healthy. When you bring in Bradley Beal, you bring in Devin Booker, you bring in Kevin Durant. Those are three not healthy players. Devin Booker's pretty healthy. Kevin Durant and Bradley Beal nowadays are not the healthiest player in the world. Kevin Durant was never really that player, but Bradley Beal has turned into that player that hasn't been really healthy at all. And right now they have no identity because they're not getting their players back. But I think the biggest thing about the Knicks is they need their players to play so we can get an identity. Um, um, but yeah, I think it's a big mistake thing in the NBA of your players just playing, because that doesn't get you wins. That gets you an identity. And right now the Suns are lacking an identity with all their players back because they didn't have them until now. So now they're playing teams like the Pacers who are going to run them at the building. They don't have an identity, so they can't really stop them. There's nothing they have right now. The Suns are really in a really bad place, and let's see if they can dig themselves out of it, because this Western Conference is very tight. So they cannot afford to lose all these games, and still try to make the playoffs. Kings, they need this type of energy. I know they fired Mike Brown, sucks, but they have Doug Christie in there, who's a really energized coach who wants to get wins, who wants to push his players. I think the Kings needed that. It's going to be good for them. I don't think they'll win a lot. I don't think they'll make the playoffs. But look, this is a Kings team that could make a run. I mean, you see their team. It's De'Aaron Fox. It's Keegan Murray. It's Domantas Sabonis. It's a good team. It's a very good team. They just were missing it defensively, which I think Doug Christie is bringing it, invigorate some defensive energy in this team. Yes, they don't have the personnel, but at the end of the day, if they can get if Doug Christie can squeeze as much energy defensively as he can get out of the Kings, I think it's a W for them. I think they can make a play in tournament. I think they do a lot of stuff. Um, the Rockets have too many good young players. Cam Whitmore in a press conference was really mad at not getting a lot of minutes, which, you know what? It's going to happen. The Rockets really drafted very well, which shout out to them. But again, you need to make that splash. I think the Rockets are in a very good position to make a splash. I don't like the Jimmy Butler splash, but I wouldn't hate it. But look, man, you have a contract in Dylan Brooks. You have good young players. You're not playing Reed Shepard that many minutes. Does it mean he's on the trade block? Does it not? Does it mean you want to clear some minutes for him? I don't know. But there's a lot of young players. I mean, we can go look at this roster. I mean, man, this is a very good basketball team, but they're deep. They're very deep, which it's good. I love to say that you have all good players, but man, if these players are young and you can really and a team could develop them, I think that you can go ahead and get splashed. Jay Sean Tate, Cam Whitmore, Reed Shepard, like Jabari Smith, Ahmed Thompson. Those are 5 players on the court that are good and young, and they aren't getting their burn. They want to. They need to. I mean, again, you have the young. I mean, you don't have the young, but you have the vet and Aaron Holiday. So you have the kind of young, good players, but do you have too much? And can you make a swing? That's what the Rockets GM's kind of looking at right now. Is can he make a swing with those type of players? And man, what players do you want to keep? Because again, you want to keep some young players. You want to develop some guys. I mean, Cam Whitmore could be a guy they want to develop. Um, of course, you have Jalen Green, who you want to trade because you just locked him up for a long time. So you're looking at some young players you want to really use, but also you're trying to maybe Reed Shepard. You think you could flip him? Hey, I don't hate it. He was a 3rd overall pick, but man, if you're not gonna play him a lot, then and you don't really trust him, and another team like Miami or throw it out there, Miami or Brooklyn or something like that, or Sacramento wants him, then you go give it to them if you're gonna get the value you want back. Um. So yeah, I mean that's my kind of NBA spiel for this week. I know it stinks. It's not a lot, but I was not really locked in. It's the holidays. Just got back in the new year, so we're gonna be really locked in this new year. Um, Kolek for the Knicks looks very comfortable, and I think that's good for the Knicks because they need these players on a good contract and can perform. And my whole reasoning is about this Knicks team and you guys. Oh, the Knicks don't have a good bench. Oh my goodness. Why? Like when you say, oh, let's play Bacom Yet, let's play Tyler Kolek. Why are you doing that? It's a championship contending team. Why are you trying to play rookies? Man, every team plays rookies because you know what the CBA is saying, and with this first apron and stuff, you gotta play players on good contracts. You have to. Every team does, and Comey Yet's on a steal of a contract. Precious Chewer's on a steal of a contract. Landry Shamet's on a steal of a contract. Campaign's on a steal of a contract. Not steal, but on a good contract. The Kolek's on a good contract as his rookie, and he's a second round pick. So you're looking at players that are on good contracts, and the NBA wants you to play them. That's how it's going to work nowadays. You're not usually going to get your Jordan Clarkson. It's not really. You're not supposed to get those players. You're supposed to play players like Campaign or on good contracts, and they're supposed to suck up some minutes. So Tom Thibodeau, this is the bench you're going to use. I don't see the Knicks making a move. Like when I slept on it, I'm like, this is a league where they don't want you to get good bench players, especially if you're top 5, which is they deserve all the money in the world, or um or locked up long term and locked up for big time contracts. And you're trying to still play. You can still pay Mikal. So you're looking at a team that the bench is not that good. So if you can play some guys on a good contract, Tyler Kolek, Aria Huckporty, Pressure Chew, like those are guys on good contract. And again, if you trust that you can make a move with Mitch Robinson coming back, you could flip Mitch Rod, you could flip Precious, you could flip a second, and maybe you can go out and get Valanciunas or something like that. Do it. But again, I would not be mad if this team stays pat. I think it's the thing about Thibs. I really do. I do. I hate to be the guy, but Thibodeau, he's lost his rotation, doesn't know what to do. I took a picture. I was talking to my friend, like this team is lost. Like their coach is lost, not this team. I mean, they're a little bit lost. But I mean, they lost 2 games in a row. But this coach is a little lost, man. He's a little bit lost, and you're looking at a game against the Bulls, which we saw. Where I'm gonna look at these like 3 to 4 players that I really want to talk about in their minutes. Campaign plays 14 minutes. Precious plays 27. Landry Shamet plays 17. And then you look at the next game. Landry Shamet plays 14. Precious plays 7. Campaign plays 7. Like you are not gonna get good production if your bench players aren't told the role. I know they want to be this guy where it's like, I'll step in any role. Yes, it's great. Having bench players who step in any role, they'll play 14 minutes, they'll play 7, they'll play 2. Doesn't matter for them. It's great. But I think the best you can get out of your bench players if if you lock in a roll on most nights, you're going to play about 7 to 10 minutes. Campaign, you lock that in, and you're like, campaign, give us 7 to 10 minutes, give us good energy, give us a 3, give us maybe 2 threes, and maybe we'll keep you in if you're playing good. But look, and you tell Landon Shamet, hey, you're also playing 7 to 10 minutes as well. Give us a 3, give us good defense. And I think if you keep it simple with them and you tell them what minutes they're playing and tell them how long they're playing, they'll be locked in the role and they'll feel comfortable. And also with Precious, man, maybe because we really need to give Cat a rest, 15 to 20 minutes here. Precious, I need you to play good enough into your defense. Try your best. Try to box out that backup center and get those rebounds. So I think if you give those bench players a real good explanation of what they're going to do on a night-to-night basis, they'll be better. But this whole thing with we're going to play Lane Ship at 7 minutes one game, we're going to play him 17, great and all. It's great to say, okay, Landry Shaman can play 17 and still produce, and he can play 7. But, man, the best you can get your bench players is when you tell them you're going to play 7 to 10 minutes, and you're going to go out there and you're going to try your best. That's what good coaches do. They don't play their players 7, then 17 the next game, then 30 the next. They don't do that type of stuff. They don't. They just don't. So if Thibodeau can lock himself up in this rotation, it's hard. It's a new team. Which I'm going to give Thibodeau some real what's it called? Real I don't even know. I'm gonna give him real I'm just gonna give him some not high pressure on him. I'm not gonna pressure him to do it because I'm not gonna pressure him to be like, oh, Thibodeau, you stink, but because this is a whole new team. So yeah, I mean, let's look at the play on the court, which again, yes, the team sucked. I mean, yes, the rotation sucked, but also the play on the court was awful. No, they let their foot off the gas. It was just this whole thing where the Knicks just their defenses look the same way. I think it's the thing about grit, man. The Knicks need some grit. The Knicks definitely need some grit. And if Landry Shaman can bring off the bench, if when Mitch comes back, maybe he brings some grit to this team. He's from that 2020 he's from that 2020 team to the 2024 team. He knows about grit. So if you can bring him back, bring Deuce back, he knows about grit. So I just think Deuce is a big loss for this team. And same with Mitch. But I think you bring Deuce and Mitch back, I think this team's ready to roll. It's this again, they say 4-year process for the Knicks. I want you guys to relax. 4-year process for the Knicks. This is why you have guys for 4 years, because it's a 4-year process. There's 1 out of 4 years. And next year, the salary cap will be a little bit nicer, and the Knicks will be able to get some better bench players. So, yeah, again, maybe they make a splash for Valanciunas. I love it. But, man, I see them staying pat. That's going to do it. That's my opinion right now for the Knicks. That's my opinion for the whole NBA. Peace. Have a nice day. And that's going to do it for this episode of Nick of Time. Make sure to like and subscribe. Of course, as I forget to say, make sure to like and subscribe. And because I'll be pumping out this content all season long. This Knicks content all season long, every week all season long, almost every week all season long, unless I have something like very, very, very exciting happening that weekend. Maybe I won't post, but hey, I'll be giving it every week. Peace, have a nice day, and let's go Knicks.